Hello, and welcome to We Live for Saturday, your favorite college football podcast. I'm your co-host, Mike, and with me, as always, is your other co-host, John. John, how you doing this evening?
Doing okay. There was a wild storm last night. I don't know if you lost power.
You lost power?
No, it went out for like a second and didn't seem like it was coming back on, but then all of a sudden it kicked back in. But I know a lot of people did around the Twin Cities here. So
no, I did step out in the rain though because it's been so humid. I did just step out just to get a little wet last night.
Yeah.
In a cold rain or not cold, but cool rain.
Cooler, yeah.
Yeah, it felt good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I got out there before the hail
I always think of V for Vendetta, God is in the rain. And then I didn't do the arms last night, but when I'm really feeling it, I will. In a rainstorm. I absolutely will.
I know that's one of your favorite movies ever. So
it is.
Yeah,
it is truly. Yeah. So if anyone else loves that movie, you can nerd out with me about it. Tell me about it in the comments. Because when that movie came out, it's the only movie I ever saw 3 days in a row in theaters.
Wow. In
a time in my life when I had less going on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But still, wow.
But I went I couldn't even. And dude, there's so much. It's so well done, and there's so much symbol and whatever. This is not a movie podcast.
No.
So you? It was a crazy storm. I agree with you.
Yeah, I saw a lot of down. There was down trees and branches and limbs and stuff like that I saw around the neighborhood today. But and we got some hail, but it was I don't know, 50-cent piece size. Not huge, but still. Yeah, but that was it.
Your car's okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Thankfully, we have a garage, so mine was okay, and I think my fiance's car. She was at work actually, and hers seems to be fine. So
that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Other than that, man, nothing super exciting going on here. Same old. Just waiting for football season.
Yeah, dude. I had a glorious lake weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. Saw some old friends. Honestly, everything went well except for it was too windy to ski until the last morning, and I was all ready to go. And I'm ready. I've got my ski up. I'm pulling up. I'm standing up, feeling great. About to start doing some cuts. And the rope snapped.
No.
Just snapped. Right off. Done. In half. Boom. Going down. Yeah.
Oh, no.
But honestly, that's the only bad thing that happened all weekend.
Yeah.
And, of course, by the time I got into town, got a new rope, got back, the wind had come up, of course.
Yeah.
Skiing is just, if you haven't water skied, if there's enough wind, it's just not fun.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is being able to cut all over the place. And if you're fighting waves all the time, you can't cut all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was never a big water skier. Wasn't really my thing, but I know what you're talking about.
So. Oh, dude, in my family, water skiing was such a thing that my teenage rebellion, among other things, was that I refused to water ski for 5 years.
Wow.
For 14 to 18, I was just I'm not skiing. And my mom was so upset about it. She was mortified. And then after I think my senior year of high school, I was like, wait a second. Why did I stop water skiing? I love water skiing.
Yeah.
But I had some friends who were into it and started doing it in earnest and then, never stopped since.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, That's what passed for me really bucking the system.
Nice, dude. Yeah. Well, we all have our things, man. And sometimes it's a little silly at the end of the day, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, being a teenager is a little silly at the end of the day, just in general, the entire experience. But yeah, man, it was great. It was awesome. We had my buddy had his daughter out there, so we partied as hard as you can with a 4-year-old.
Nice.
A lot of boating, went to the sandbar, a lot of swimming, played Monsters, which is just a game where she tries to splash you.
Nice, love that.
Yeah, love man, it was great. Nice. So fun times at the lake. The lake weekends they're growing thin.
Mm-hmm.
I personally I'm doing it. I'm going next weekend, but after that might be it for me for the summer.
Yeah. It doesn't last that long here in Minnesota, man.
And I just have things coming up the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Normally I would through Labor Day be trying to lake, but I just can't this year. Can't swing it.
Well,
So
it's still fun to go up though in like the fall and in like the winter. Like I know you're not
yeah.
out there like boating and all that, but it's just beautiful and so nice up there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh man, so the difference between going to the lake in the summer and a winter,
Yeah.
everyone out there listening, is how you get greeted when you go to a local bar.
Yep.
In the summer, they're happy to have you.
Mm-hmm.
You want as many people as possible so that they can, get as a lot of business. Everyone's friendly. It's, Minnesota nice. It's all good. Everyone's having a good time. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You show up at a local bar, and we've done this, John.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
If you show up in the winter, in the cold dead of winter, when no one's there, all the guys look at you suspiciously like you stole something from them.
Yeah.
They glare, they stop talking. It's like you could hear them talking, and then you walk in, they stop, and they just look, and they all look. And I'm like, are we the new kids? Did we move here? Are we 10? What's going on? I don't understand. And then God forbid that one time one of two drunk women tried to hit on both of us.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And we had to we just had to leave. We just
And
had to leave. It was getting really uncomfortable.
It was getting uncomfortable, and then I think we saw when we called it a night is we saw some guy who couldn't even put his winter coat on to like drive home, and someone like I think he dropped his keys and someone picked him up and handed them to him, and he walked out with just one sleeve on, and I think it was probably backwards or something, and we were like,
he tried to talk. Remember, he tried to talk on his way out, and it was not there were not words.
He was incoherent.
It was gibberish. And and when he drove away like crookedly, one of his buddies goes, he was walking straight by the end.
Yeah. We were like, all right, maybe we should head out.
We were like, all right, we are out of here. Yeah. This is crazy. You guys this is a different kind of dysfunction.
And this wasn't even in town. This is a bar that's outside of town, like
outside of DL.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Yep.
I won't say it because I still frequent it, and I don't want to cast aspersions on their clientele.
Yeah.
I don't drink though. I don't really drink at lake bars. It's just not. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not the vibe.
But it was fun. We were watching a game, I think, at that time, and hanging out. So it was a good time until things got weird. But yeah,
it was. But the lake is always a great time. And the only difference is when you go in the summer, you have the fire outside, and when you go in the winter, you have the fire inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love it. Either way, it's great.
Absolutely. All right. So that's probably enough lake talk for this episode. Should we talk football, John?
Let's do it.
So we are previewing Michigan State and Washington in this episode. So get excited for that. I'm pumped to talk about both teams. I think both teams have a lot of pieces back and a lot of big expectations from teams that were only kind of mediocre last year. So it's going to be really exciting to, talk about it, go through the rosters, see who we think can take the next step.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, man, I've been hearing chatter among the pundit class, and they're saying something that I haven't heard anybody say in a long time, and it's making me nervous. And it's like, there are some comparisons that don't scare me. Like if you compare someone and say he's like a gritty Nathan Stanley type, like he'll be good, sure, but I'm not like quaking, But when you start comparing guys to Cam Newton, to Vince Young, that's when I get a little nervous. Yeah. And man, the Michigan Wolverines have a true freshman quarterback in Bryce Underwood. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing legit Cam Newton and Vince Young comparisons. And everybody's saying that he just lit it up everything he ever did, and that he is at practice too. And Mikey Keene feels like an afterthought at this point. I don't know, man. The last time we had a quarterback that scary as a true freshman was Trevor Lawrence for Clemson.
Yeah.
And he won a national title.
Yep.
So I got to ask, do you think Bryce Underwood is going to end up being that kind of quarterback? Not saying they win a natty, but like saying like he puts Michigan on his back and is like, all right, ride me to 10 wins this year as a true freshman. Is he that kind of quarterback?
I mean, I think he could be. It's just I'm still waiting for Michigan to develop or acquire some elite level receivers. That's what,
Yes.
he'll make the receivers, whoever he has, look a lot better. But
If he's a Cam Newton type, he doesn't need receivers. Cam didn't have
that's true.
receivers.
That's true.
Cam had running backs, and
Yeah.
that was enough.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me, because Michigan always has running backs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. In the Sharon Moore, in the brief Sharon Moore era, that has been a problem.
But you have to believe that
play.
If he is that good, there's going to be receivers who are going to want to transfer there. And the portal over the next year or two could look really, really good for Michigan if Bryce Underwood is who, what you say he might be. So,
yeah, man. All I know is we play them in 2026, and I just know by then he's going to be amazing no matter what happens this year. I just know by the time we get there, he's going to be just throwing darts, shaking off defenders like an action hero more than a player. And I'm already bothered by it.
Which is
so Michigan fans.
Yeah.
Just be happy we don't play this year, because you all know we should have had the jug last year.
Yeah.
And next year, by that time, you could have the best quarterback in college football, maybe, man.
Well,
maybe.
And that's exactly why it's so frustrating, is because we should have the jug right now. And so that was our shot. And now, who knows when that's going to come around again. But
I mean, next year, but we'll see.
We'll see.
All right. I just wanted to talk. So yeah, that was a Mike's college football fears segment. The first, maybe that should be a running segment.
Yeah.
The things that legitimately scare me as someone, and it'd be one thing if we didn't play Michigan for a few years, but we play them next year.
Yeah.
And Bryce Underwood is going to still be there next year. So if he, especially, I could see him struggling a bunch this year and then turning the corner right at the end and then being terrifying next year.
Yep.
But man, maybe he's ready now. He was the number one recruit, not just at the quarterback position, but in his entire recruiting class. That's Jeremiah Smith was that.
Yep.
So Travis Hunter was that. So man. Well, I don't know. It's gonna be
really nice.
Those guys don't bust very often. Oh yeah. Must be nice. Those guys just don't bust very often.
Yeah. Well, and sorry, Sparty fans, we're going to be covering you today, but sorry to start out with Michigan. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think that we're covering Sparty, and I'm starting off with a positive Michigan mention. Ooh, God! But isn't that how it's been for Sparty the last few years?
Yeah, it seems.
Honestly, not picking on you, but it's been. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But and let's talk about. Let's transition into our Michigan State preview.
Yeah.
Michigan State is currently on their worst 3-year run since the 1980s. They've gone 5-7, 4-8, 5-7. It has been a dramatic fall from grace from the D'Antonio years, which were largely triumphant right up until the very end. Jonathan Smith, after a slow starting but ultimately triumphant tenure at his alma mater, Oregon State, Jonathan Smith went just 5-7 in year one in East Lansing. Fans aren't upset because it was just year one, but they expect a big improvement this year from Michigan State. So how likely is that? Let's look at his resume. But first, John, I got to get your take on something. Jonathan Smith, he's got some bold talk. You might call it some Kurt Signetti-esque verbiage, because he came out and said he guaranteed a bowl game this year, which, whatever. That's a good, that's a reasonable guarantee, whatever.
Sure.
But then said that a playoff bid will come soon after. It's a big promise. It's a big promise to take a program that's at its lowest point in 45 years.
Yeah.
Or 40 years. And then you're going to immediately flip it and be a playoff contender, starting in year 3, he's thinking. So if that's going to happen, let's say he's right, what would have to happen this year? I feel like they would have to they'd have to win at least 8 games.
Yeah, well, and Aiden Childs would have to reach his ceiling. I think
Yes.
You'd have to see what his potential really come to fruition, and if that happens, I guess I could see it. I mean, because look, Sparty still recruits pretty well. And
Michigan State always has talent, man.
yeah,
They always have talent.
yep.
Like, you think they don't, but they do.
Yeah.
Because little brother in Michigan is still in Michigan,
Yep.
which is still a top 10 state for high school talent in the country, even with the, population shifts of the last 40 years. It's not like a top 5 state like it used to be, but it's still a top 10 state. And there's plenty of players to go around.
Yeah.
And Michigan State gets all the guys, who don't get it, who Michigan does or who Michigan doesn't need.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I also think it's like, it's coach speak in the way that like you kind of have to. I think that the expectations are still high at Michigan State because it wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things that they were competing at a high level, and
they made the 4-team playoff.
Exactly. So
I mean, they won the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They won the Rose Bowl, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't think it's like,
that was like 10 years ago.
I don't think it's that wild, I guess. Like, I mean, I think it seems to be something that like the fan base wants to hear because a lot of them still remember what it was like. It's recent enough. Yeah. So it's not like, I know they've been down over the last few years, but I don't think they've been so down for long enough that it's like, okay, yeah, right. That's a ridiculous thing to say. And I think Jonathan Smith is doing a good job. And I think he will do a good job. Like we've been talking about, it might just take, might take 3 years. But I think even if he doesn't make the college football playoff, but like if he wins 8 games this year and then wins 9 or 10 the next year, like that's pretty darn good.
I mean, at this point, if you win 10 games in the regular season, you're going in the Big Ten, you're going to the college football playoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, unless you have the schedule Indiana had last year, but like nobody ever gets that schedule.
Yeah.
That's was the magic of Indiana last year, is that nobody gets that schedule. And, 95% of the time, you're not going to have that. So, but if you have a harder schedule, 10-2 Big Ten team, you're going. So that'll be interesting. Let's talk about Jonathan Smith a little bit more in depth.
Sure.
So let's look at his resume. Smith was a 4-year starter at QB for Oregon State, his alma mater. So he's a legit jock. I mean, 4-year starter. As a junior, he led them to an 11-1 record. And one of his wide receivers was TJ Husmanzada, if you remember him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. On the Bengals with Chad Johnson. Dude, he was terrifying. He was terrifying. Smith worked his way up the hard way. Well, at least for a guy who had the advantages of starting for 4 years at a power conference school. That helps. Started as a grad assistant for Oregon State. Spent 6 years coaching QBs in Idaho. He then became OC for FCS Power Montana. QB coach for 2 seasons at Boise State under the legendary Chris Peterson. Then spent 4 years at Washington before being named head coach at Oregon State in late 2017. Oregon State went just 2-10 in year 1. I remember that because I believe a rebuilding Gopher team beat that Oregon State squad 56-18, I want to say, offhand. And they scored late in the game, so it wasn't even that close. I was at that game. It started pouring rain after halftime, and they were dark times for Oregon State. Like in Corvallis, you could feel the mood was down.
Yeah,
even it was down before we beat them that badly. Kind of thing. But then in year 2, we went 5-7. So a big improvement. The COVID year was bad, but by then Smith had a roster fully made up of his players. His patience paid off, and the Beavers went 7-6. And then finally in 2022, they went 10-3, 10-3 in Corvallis, and Smith won Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Then in 2023, he went 8-4, and after that, he took the Michigan State job and went 5-7 last year. So I think, man, getting back to a bowl game would be a big deal in year 2 and would show that the program's moving in the right direction. Because if they miss a bowl for the second consecutive year, I think the pressure, I think Jonathan Smith would be on a hot seat going into 2026.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I think rightly higher at Michigan State at this point in time. with Jonathan Smith. I mean, it was a big time hire. Everyone was speaking very highly of him, and I think it should be. I think the expectations definitely should be. I mean, as in my opinion, I think at least 7 wins is what I would hope for. Obviously, 6-6 would be great. It's fine, but like I think.
Yeah, no, you want to go 7-5 and prove that you're making that you're ready to make some noise, and your quarterback is something to be reckoned with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You go 6-6, that's not. Nobody's that impressed with that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
The most important thing to me this year is to see progress in the passing game. So they need, like you said, Aiden Childs to be the difference maker he was brought in to be. Dude was up and down in year one, making some dazzling throws, but also led the Big Ten in interceptions with 11. He has to be more accurate this year. And more importantly, he's got to cut down on all the oopsie daisy throws into coverage. He's just got to live to fight another down, throw that ball away, or tuck it and run, one or the other. Nick Marsh should be a superstar at wide receiver this year. He needs Childs to be better to reach that potential, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, look, Aiden Childs, it's his third collegiate season, I think.
Yep.
So at this point in time, he's had enough time with the playbook. He's had enough time practicing with these guys, making these connections, understanding the system. I mean, the guy's a freak athlete. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He's got a freaking cannon. It's crazy. How his deep ball, when he's accurate, is pretty amazing. But he, I mean, if he can cut down on the mistakes, I really think he's got a super high ceiling, and he's got these player extender play, he does crazy stuff to extend the play, and we saw some video game stuff last year, but then obviously we already touched on, then some really dumb mistakes, and then that canceled out everything. But I have high hopes for him. I do. As I've well established here over the last few episodes. He's kind of my pick, wild card pick of who could really surprise and be a real stud. So I think
he's your QB crush of 2025.
He is, which might not bode well since it didn't go well last year for Hudson Card. So sorry, Aiden
I want either Childs to be the best quarterback in the Big Ten or the worst.
Yeah,
that's funny to me either way.
Yeah,
because either you look like a genius, or else the John Brink or quarterback preseason award becomes a curse like the Madden cover used to be.
Well, then if that's the case, then I think Billy Edwards Jr. is absolutely amazing, and I think Gronowski at Iowa could be he's honestly, if we're talking Trevor Lawrence, come on,
right?
That's who I'm voting on right there.
That's funny.
And I actually really think Dylan Raiola is the truth. So there you go. They're just going to cover all my bases. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No. In all seriousness, I think Aiden Childs has the ability to be absolutely phenomenal. Is he going to reach that ceiling this year? I don't know, but I do expect some real progress. I think that he has the ability to do so. And under Jonathan Smith, at this point, his third year, I expect that those mistakes will be more in check. I think he's a risk taker in general. So you're going to see some picks here and there. But I kind of like that about him. I think that's why he's kind of exciting. He's a gunslinger. So
you want 2-1 TDs to picks. You can throw some picks.
Yeah.
But you got to throw a bunch of TDs.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
Well, and they have backup Alicio Milivojevic. It's almost like Milja Josevic. But yeah, sophomore. Don't know a lot about him. Obviously, most of the
Milivojevic?
Milivojevic. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Sophomore. Not really a lot coming out about him, but
right.
And nor should there be, I think, at this point in time. Obviously, they're all in on Aiden Childs, and as they should be. So those are my thoughts on Aiden. I think he's got a super high ceiling, but we'll see. If he can cut down on those mistakes, that's going to be key.
Awesome. Well, should we go through the rest of this offense then, as well as do you have any thoughts on the OC, Brian Lindgren?
Brian Lindgren, let's see here. I had some notes. Where did they go?
It seems like he kind of has a similar, he's spent time at Oregon State before coming over with Smith from Corvallis.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been with him a long time, knows what he wants. it'll be interesting to see if he can, give it to him here in year 2 in East Lansing.
Yeah, I don't know where my notes went. I apologize. Yeah,
That's okay.
I think he's going to be. I think he's a good fit. I do. I think the familiarity there for Aiden Childs and for and obviously under what Jonathan Smith wants to run there, and this offense. I don't think they should go away from anybody else at this time. I thought the system, even though they didn't, Aiden had a lot of picks last year. I thought what they were doing worked. When it was working, it worked well.
Oh yeah.
Like the run game looked pretty solid. The pass game was fantastic sometimes.
It was dangerous.
Yeah. So I wouldn't move away.
Plays.
I think the offensive coordinator, I think what he's doing in the scheme that he's running is really good at this time for the personnel that's there. So I wouldn't move away from that. I feel pretty good about that. So yeah, but right now I think let's see here. In 2024, they ranked 126th nationally. With points per game, I expect an uptick. If the protection,
an uptick. They better go do a lot better than that.
Yeah, I think they will. I think the offensive line is going to be better. Last year again, not great. They was 115th at 323 yards per game, yards a game, total yards a game.
Yikes!
And
not
much QB play. Obviously flashes and turnovers like we talked about. And it really didn't. His offensive line didn't do him many favors.
No, that's fair.
It was super leaky. There was a high sack rate.
Yeah.
I really think there's going to be better protection this year. I think they shored up some positions. And they just got to be a little bit more explosive. And I think they can have that with Nick Marsh and moving forward. So, right now, I really want. Where did it go? So, and then moving on, I guess, we're going to talk about running backs, which is a pretty young, backfield. They've got Mekhi Frazier. He seems to be emerging as the primary ball carrier. And then you got Brandon Tullis, who both of these guys are sophomores, who's going to share, I think is going to share the workload. I think they're going to kind of do a little bit of running back by committee for a while. They've got on reserve, who's an FCS transfer, Tawa Tolliver.
Yeah, Elijah. He did really well at Sacramento State last year. I'm surprised. So you think he's third in the running back room?
I think it's going to be a little bit of a running back by committee. I do think Mekhi Frazier is going to be the starter, but I could see Tullis and Tolliver kind of switching around, and they're going to see who's going to be able to back up Frazier at that point in time. But I think, I feel good about their running back room, though. I think it's pretty solid and pretty strong. Now, Nate Carter was, I think, really good, but he did not have an offensive line to block.
Nate Carter never got any help, man. I feel bad. We just never got to see him do what he could have done with a real offensive line.
Yep. So it is too bad. I liked him at UConn. I thought he did a lot of good things there, and I was excited for him to be at Michigan State. But yeah, man, that offensive line was just not good last year. So I think they're going to shore up some positions there. And then I guess for targets, for Aiden Childs, you've got Nick Marsh coming back, obviously super high upside. He had a really strong 2024 freshman year. I think he's the truth, man. I really do. And then you got Jerome Glover, who's a veteran presence. And then you've got Matori Foster Jr., who returns as a key slot weapon. So there's weapons there, man, at wide receiver. And I think
what about Omari Kelly coming over from Middle Tennessee?
Amari Kelly, I think
he had a really nice year.
He had a really nice year. I think he could definitely add to this offense. I feel like a solid, top 3 are Marsh, Glover, and Foster Jr. though. But
dude, I'm not sure if is that Marsh Glover. Montori Foster Jr. is still. I thought he was gone now.
Montori Foster Jr. Am I looking at the wrong thing? I thought he was. Okay. Oh.
I don't think he's on the roster anymore, is he?
One second. No. Oh, shoot. No. Sorry, I was looking at. I had notes from 2024 up here trying to compare the two. So okay. So Marsh and Glover, yes. Because Glover's a senior this year then. Okay. Or is he a junior? Crap. Now I'm second guessing my notes.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, if
Either
he's
way.
on the team, he's on the team.
Yeah. But I do think overall, though, I mean, they have some solid weapons at wide route. So I'm not worried about that. I think Glover or Childs is going to have a lot of targets. And also Jack Velling, anchoring the tight end group, I think is going to be also really good. He's also a blocking threat. So I think there's some good stuff with him as well. And let's see here. Moving on.
Yeah, Glover. I'm not sure if he's on the team either.
Jesus. I'm sorry.
That's
Sparty.
okay.
My notes are clearly mixed up here. I apologize.
That's all right.
Well, I don't know. Nick Marsh is going to be the truth. That I do know. So I apologize. Let me
Oh,
see.
yeah. Okay. It looks like he went to Mississippi State, maybe.
Yeah. Let's see.
No, but Marsh is for real. And they also got Krishan McCray.
Yeah.
And they expect him to maybe, I look like from what I saw, maybe compete for a starting role. So he could be something too. Yeah, I mean, Nick Marsh is a really good starting point. And it's just, to me, is Omari Kelly like a number 2 guy? Or is someone else a number 2 guy, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the question. And, there's just a lot of names that have yet to emerge in the Michigan State receiving room. So I know, Jonathan Smith brought in transfers and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I think if they have a legit number 2 receiver, this is going to be a really dangerous passing offense.
I think they're also going to be able to incorporate the running backs as well. I think that Nate Carter, he was just a pure runner. I don't think he had a lot of ability to catch out of the backfield, but I think they're going to be able to get some of these running backs involved in the offense as well, or in the pass game, I should say. So I think there's just a lot more weapons to go through this season than there were before as far as targets down the field. So, and, also with the offensive line, I think it's going to be better. I think that there's some younger talent. There's with a couple experienced guys on the line, but for the most part, unfortunately, I feel like there's not a lot that's settled at center, which obviously is a big deal. So that's the one thing that I'm not certain on as far as like who's going to start. But I think the rest of the line, I guess right tackle is also kind of an open competition. But I feel good at guard with Tanner Miller, and then Luka Vincic.
Yeah, Vincic,
and then Stanton Ramil also. So I think there's some good pieces there at the offensive line.
Yeah, and they got other guys. They got transfers like Matt Gulbin.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy who could potentially be a piece. Stanton Ramil. Gavin Brocious, which is a great name.
That's a really good game. Yeah.
Connor Moore. So they've got some guys, and when I look at their 2 deep, it seems like up front they have a fair amount of experience. They have guys competing who are seniors mostly or juniors, with some sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
I see it. There's maybe one freshman in the 2 deep, maybe.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. That's what you want in a Big Ten offensive line. You want to be old and stay old at O-line. Yeah, you're going to have some freak athletes who can come in and play young sometimes. But in general, you want those guys who have had 1, 2, 3 years in a college weight room on a college strength and nutrition program, just eating meat and lifting weights and running sprints, man.
Yeah.
Doing box jumps, being explosive, just being crazy. So yeah, it'll be the offensive line to me is a big question mark for Michigan State this year. And I think they have to be improved over last year. They have to be improved to give Aiden Childs a chance to show that he's improved. Because if they're not any better, it's not gonna matter if he's better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's some more athleticism on the line this year than there was last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting at least some better run blocking potential because again, another thing that was against Aiden Childs last year is that because the run game couldn't get going, it just put all the pressure on his shoulders. And so if they can, be a little bit more of a balanced attack, I think it's going to help out a lot and open up that pass game for sure.
And the other guy in the pass game that I think we got to talk about, and I'm sure you were gonna, is the tight end, Jack Velling.
Oh, yeah, I mentioned Jack. Yeah.
I know you mentioned him, but I just feel like he could also be he could be a second or third wide receiver, receiving option, I guess is what I mean.
Yep.
Like he could be a guy who has, 500 to 700 yards receiving, depending on how this year goes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dangerous, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tough cover. And when Aiden Childs needs a check down, I think Jack Velling's going to be there.
Well, and not only that, the guy is a really good blocker. So
yes,
he's the truth, man. He's a real star. So
he's gonna play on Sundays.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No doubt, man. I think he's got a lot of upside, and he's really gonna help out in a lot of ways. I think he's gonna really, what I'm hoping for is to see a little bit more speed on the outside in the running game, and getting him involved in that and being able to lay some of those blocks is going to help out immensely, because it was just all they had last year was running up the middle and not enough speed outside. I mean, Nate Carter seemed more of a north and south, downhill running back, which he was really good, but he didn't have any blocking. But if you get some of these guys, I think they have a little bit more speed, that they're going to be able to get on the outside and help out a lot more. So yeah. I think the offense could be really good. It's again, it all rests on Aiden Childs' shoulders, whether or not he can get it together.
I mean, if the offense is as good as you think it is, Jonathan Smith might be the Big Ten Coach of the Year. Just saying.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I think that they could. I could see him carrying into 7 or 8 wins. As a possibility.
If they win 8 games, I think he's in talk. Like, I'm not saying he wins Coach of the Year, but I think he's in the discussion.
Yeah.
If they win 8 regular season games, after not doing so for 4 years in a row or whatever.
Yeah.
I
think it's possible.
Right on. Anything else? Any other offensive thoughts before we turn our attention to the defense?
No, I think that's it. Yeah. I'm just really looking forward to see what's going to happen here. I think that it could be explosive, but not sure.
No, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be really fun to watch either way.
Yes.
And we'll talk when we get to the schedule game about what I think about the offense. But right now, I want to talk defense. So, defensive coordinator Joe Rossi enters his second year as Spartans DC. Rossi is best known for an incredibly successful run at Minnesota, where he had exactly 1 down season, which was his last in 2023. However, Rossi also had a bad year in his first year in East Lansing, 2024. Michigan State ranked just 81st in the country in opponents' points per game at 28.5. The defense also got worse as the season went along, giving up 32 points per game in their last 3 games. So Michigan State wasn't very good on defense, and they got worse at the end of the year. They had 0 pass rush, and at one point went 6 consecutive games without recording a single sack. That's bananas.
Yeah.
6 games without a sack? Are you kidding me? What happened to the dominant Joe Rossi defenses we are used to? Where have they gone? Will they return this year? So that's what I want to answer. And Michigan State's strength on D is going to be their defensive tackles, depth at inside linebacker, and a pair of decent safeties. On the D line, the starting DTs are Alex Van Samarin and nose tackle Grady Kelly. These guys need to be great. And the good news is there's decent depth behind them in seniors Jalen Satchel and Ruquan Buckley. I'm less sure about the production at D end with starter Jalen Thompson on the strong side, with edge David Santiago on the other side. Jalen Thompson can play. Like he's a difference maker. They're going to need him to be a big time difference maker last year or this year. He was good against the run, but last year he recorded 0 sacks. That's not sustainable at defensive end. I'm sorry, if you are a Big Ten defensive end, even if you're on the strong side, you better have like 5.5 or more sacks, because you start out close to the quarterback with the fewest blockers in between you and the quarterback. So just playing defensive end, you should get the most sacks on the team. And if you're not producing sacks, you're not doing your job. So they really need, I think, Thompson, Santiago, somebody to step up at defensive line and prove they have a pass rush. The backup DNs will be all named team member Quindarius Dunnigan and Isaac Smith. So here's what I think, man. I think that Jalen Thompson better prove quickly that he can get to the quarterback, or they're going to want to be rolling in other people on passing downs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got to take a step. So where the defensive line's at. The linebackers should be good with Jordan Hall and Wayne Matthews starting, and Marcellius Pulliam, another all-name team candidate, and Darius Snow. Great names on Sparty this year, backing them up. So yeah, the linebackers, man, I don't have a ton to say. I don't think they're going to be great. I don't think they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be pretty good.
Well, I mean, as far as like, having that pass rush, I mean, that was never, even with when Rossi was at Minnesota, it was never his strong suit. Like
if his best teams though could rush the passer.
Yeah.
The 2019 team had Carter Coughlin at defensive end and Sam Renner at D tackle.
Yeah.
Those guys got to the passer.
But it just didn't seem like it was his play calling, that he wasn't aggressive enough.
No, he's not aggressive.
Yeah,
he's not aggressive.
I feel
he
like
plays bend but don't break.
Yes, he's a little more conservative, and not to say like he's not fantastic. Obviously, he was amazing and did a really good job at Minnesota.
Yes,
but like we saw the difference once Corey Heatherman like really turned on the gas,
started blitzing and forcing the issue and forcing turnovers.
Yeah, so
that was better.
That is something with Joe Rossi, and are you getting the guys? Do you have the personnel to start to get to the quarterback and put that pressure on? Because you need to.
I mean, Joe Rossi defense, you better, because he's not going to help you with a bunch of blitzes. He's not.
Yeah.
Like, unless he absolutely has to do it, Joe Rossi does not want to bring extra pressure. Like maybe on 3rd and long, 2nd and long, but but like most of the time he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Even on those downs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I have a theory that I feel like the better the quarterback play gets across the country, the harder it is to play defense the way Joe Rossi does.
Yeah, I agree.
Because quarterbacks are too good at reading defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only cover guys for so long. So if you're not getting to the quarterback regularly, the quarterbacks have too much time to make decisions, and they're too accurate with the ball now.
Yeah.
I think 5-10 years ago, quarterbacks were I just think the training they get now, kids in junior high get the kind of training you used to have to be in college to get.
That's so crazy, dude.
So I just think the development at the quarterback position has been immense. And I think Joe Rossi I think he's going to have to blitz more this year.
Yeah.
But is he willing to do it, John? That's the question.
Not enough. I would be surprised if there's a massive uptick in his desire to blitz. I just don't think it's in his DNA.
Dude, I just think those defensive ends better be pass rushers, Yeah. They gotta really get there. So yeah, linebackers pretty good, but like no standout, above the line. This is an awesome All-American kind of guy. I'd say, solid workman-like.
Yeah.
Secondary returns 3 starters, which is good, including cornerback Chance Rucker, free safety Nakai Martinez, and strong safety Malik Spencer. Spencer has all Big Ten potential as a 3rd-year starter. Transfer Joshua Eden from Texas State will start at the other cornerback opposite Rucker. The nickelback will likely be Aid Willie. Backups in the secondary include Anthony Panache, Andrew Brinson, Jeremy Hughes, Tracy Revels. Tracy Revels. Man, these names, man. Tracy Revels. I love that. Justin Denson. So, the secondary is going to be interesting. 3 starters back in a Joe Rossi scheme. They're used to it. I think that's really good. The fact that they have 3 potential difference makers is good. How good is Joshua Eden at the other corner? Because I feel like he's going to get the ball thrown at him a lot.
Yeah.
So I think, man, if he's, but we've seen a lot of guys from, lower division players come up and do a really good job. So he could be a really good player. I don't know, man. I'm having a really hard time. Like, I feel like I know what I think about the defensive line. It's going to be pretty good against the run, and it's not going to get enough pass rush. That's what I think the defensive line is going to do. I think the linebackers are going to be pretty good, but not great. I think you're going to be able to take advantage of them if you get them in the right situation, but I think they're also going to make a lot of plays.
Yeah.
I don't know what I think about the secondary. I think there are some nice players, and then there's some question marks.
Yeah, I'm with you as well, but I don't know. I guess I trust Rossi to find the right guys in the secondary. I feel like he's really good at recruiting there. He's good at finding guys, like you said, like we talked about through the transfer portal. That's his specialty, I think, as a secondary. So I don't know. We've seen the evidence. We've experienced it ourselves. So I feel like it's going to be solid. I'm not saying it'll be elite, but I think it'll be pretty good, or good enough anyways, to get them pretty far.
Yeah. Specialists. Or no, let's defense as a whole. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I look at this unit. There are things I like. There are playmakers. I think they're pretty consistent in spots, and then they're just big, glaring question marks. And I tend to think Joe Rossi will start to figure it out.
Yeah.
I tend to think that they'll be maybe not great this year, but I think they'll be workman-like, solid. They'll make you earn it. They're going to make you earn it. They're not going to give up a bunch of big plays. Joe Rossi defenses are very good at minimizing big plays.
Yeah. And
so you have to be consistent and hit them enough times that you get inside the 20 and can score.
Yeah, they're going to be sound. I think more sound anyways this year than they were last year. So I'm confident in the same thing.
Yeah, right on. All right, let's talk about the specialists. We've got punter Ryan Eckley, John, led the Big Ten with a 47.9 yard average in 2024.
That's wild.
That's crazy, man. That's fantastic. He's a star. He could swing a game in their favor, maybe multiple games in their favor with his monster leg. That kind of punter is a legit weapon. However, neither of Sparty's place kickers have attempted a field goal in college. Oops. Tariq Amat Basic and Martin Connington. I'm not sure. I know Tariq. I'm sure I butchered your last name. Somebody correct me in the comments. I appreciate that. Will compete for the job until the season opener versus Western Michigan. And perhaps beyond that, should be an adventure in this kicking competition. John, a kicking competition at this time of year makes me a little nervous.
Yep.
Not to say it can't work out, but the fact that neither guy guy's attempted a kick in college, and neither of them is like a blue chip recruit. You know what I mean? Neither of them is like a guy who came in where you're like, okay, that was a highly ranked guy. We can hope. Because like Minnesota kind of has the same thing. They have a kicker. They have a kicking contest, but they have a returning guy with a bunch of experience, and they have a freshman who is really highly rated as a freak athlete.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just less likely to see I just don't see the silver lining with Michigan State's kicking competition as much.
Yeah.
But man, kickers, you don't know. You don't know. Maybe he'll be great. Whoever wins.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I mean, I think it's going to be kind of like Minnesota, where you're going to be relying on, you might be going for it.
Going for it on fourth? Yeah, I think so too. Honestly, sometimes that's good for coaches.
Yeah.
Because like, obviously you would rather have a good field goal kicker than not. But, I think Minnesota thought they had a good field goal kicker and led the Big Ten in 40-plus field goal attempts last year. And that was a mistake.
Yep.
Because our kicker wasn't good last year. He was only good in 2023.
And you saw PJ go for it more than he usually
You saw him go for it as the year went on. And it was better. And when he didn't go for it, we paid the price. Like against Penn State, we let you off the hook. We let you off the hook. after having Ty. I really wanted, when we had Ty on the show, I wanted to go on an extended rant about how pissed I am that we lost that game, but I just thought it would be in poor form. And he was so generous with his time that I just couldn't do it. But like I am still mad about that game. So yeah, having the best punter in the Big Ten and a total question mark at kicker. And then, kick returner, I see Alante Brown projected. He's a senior. Punt returner, Omari Kelly, he's a senior. Maybe it'll be those guys. Maybe it'll be someone else. I don't have any way to project how good they'll be at returner. Yeah. I don't know if those guys will be good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah. I don't know either. I wouldn't put any kind of guess on it right now either. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. All right. Should we play the schedule game?
Let's do it.
All right. So the good news about Michigan State is they start off with Western Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Western Michigan has, they, after hitting some highs under PJ Fleck, have just kind of gone back into the pack as a pretty average, MAC team. So I feel like this is a good opener. I feel like you'll get some confidence, play a lot of guys. I think Sparty wins this one going away.
Yeah, I think so too. I know they gave, did they play Wisconsin last year?
Western Michigan gave them, a fight last
year. They gave them a scare. Yeah.
They were up 14-13 in the fourth quarter. They ended up losing by 2 scores.
Yeah.
But they were up 14-13 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So this is a plucky team,
Yeah.
So if they don't have their stuff together, it could be scary. I expect a win though, but don't take Western Michigan lightly.
I mean, openers are always a little scary.
Yeah. True.
By the way, how jacked does that Sparty running back look?
He's huge. Yeah.
Like that's some serious bicep. I guess you need the biceps so that you don't fumble the ball. 3 points of pressure. You need the big biceps to squeeze it extra tight. I could see that. I could see just justifying big arms like that for sure.
Yep.
Absolutely. So then you get a really interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
You get Bill O'Brien coming in with Boston College. Now, the good news is this game is in East Lansing.
Yeah.
Because this one scares me a little bit, John. Bill O'Brien's a good coach. He's going to have a competent passing game.
Yeah.
Boston College is usually reliably a pretty good, not great, but pretty good defensive team on average.
Yeah.
So this could be a game.
But Castellanos isn't there anymore, right? He's
gone. He got benched mid-season.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's at Florida State.
That's right. Yeah.
He was most recently heard guaranteeing a win over Alabama, saying they weren't going to be able to handle him.
Okay. That's something to say. Is it just me? Or
they went 2-10 last year, and he's saying he's guaranteeing victory over Alabama.
And again, is it just me, or are there a lot of, quarterbacks in particular, but people in general, making ridiculously bold claims this offseason more so than usual?
Dude. Yeah. Yeah,
guaranteeing
I love
things.
Yeah, never guarantee anything.
No.
Unless what you guarantee? You guarantee stuff when you're afraid that your team doesn't believe anymore.
Yeah.
To me, that's when you do it. You put it on the line, see who's with you, who isn't, right?
Yep.
Because otherwise, football's, man, the ball isn't round. It bounces funny.
Yep.
It's a complicated game. So, Boston College, man, they've got some weapons. They've got some guys who can play. I don't think they're overly explosive.
No.
And I don't think, the guy who took over, I forget his name offhand. Oh goodness, I wrote it down, but then I think I deleted it because I didn't think I needed it. Anyway, doesn't matter. But Boston College's quarterback is, he's not great, but he seems competent.
Yeah.
I think Michigan State wins, but I think they're going to have to earn it. This could be a good morale building win. Maybe a 24-20 gritty, battle where you see Michigan State start to figure things out a little bit, but it's really close for most of the game, Yeah,
I think so too. I think that let's see here. Sorry, I'm looking at Grayson James.
Grayson James.
That's who it is.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, he played for the FIU Panthers. I don't have a lot of high expectations. So, yeah, I think that this is it should be a win for Sparty.
Yeah.
But it could look close for like a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not a win for Sparty, I think Sparty's in trouble.
Oh, yes.
Like if they drop this one at home to BC, I think it's going to be a long year.
Yep.
So this is a big game, man. It's a big game. I think this is the biggest game so far of the Jonathan Smith era.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. All right. So 2-0, we've got Sparty at. Then they play FCS Youngstown State. I'm going to be honest, when it's an FCS team, unless it's like one of the Dakota or Montana schools or a power, I'm not going to actually do the research, really.
Nope.
So I know who the best FCS schools are. I follow it closely enough to know that. Youngstown State has had years when they've been good, but they haven't been great.
They're the Penguins, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's where Pelini coached after Nebraska.
Yep.
But he got fired from there, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a hard place to win, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Tressel was there as their AD, I think, for a while.
Yes, he was. And I think he hired Pelini.
Yeah.
And like Pelini couldn't
hack
does
it.
Bo Pelini even coach anymore?
I have no idea.
Did he get out of the game? I'm so curious.
Honestly, he would have been really good, like, as a commentator.
I don't know, man. He's so sour.
I just think he would have made some wild takes and it would have been very entertaining.
Former American coach, it says. Most recently, DC for LSU. Did he get fired, though? Yeah, dude, he hasn't coached since 2020.
Wow. Oof.
Weird. That's weird. It's weird that he's out of the game. You'd think he would have become an assistant coach at least again.
Yeah.
If not a head coach. But maybe he's got so much money he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Maybe
sure
he invested it well and was like, I don't need to do this anymore. That's possible. I don't think Pelini probably lives a lavish lifestyle compared to a lot of them.
No, I'm sure he's doing okay. He made enough money. You know.
Yeah. No, I'm not shedding any tears for former highly paid guys who have made tens of millions of dollars in their career. I'm not shedding any tears for them.
Nope.
Definitely not.
Nope.
All right. Anyway, so then that's when things get really interesting. 3-0. You got to go to USC.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if Sparty goes, like, fair or not, if Sparty goes to LA and beats USC in the Coliseum to get to 4-0, the hype train is going to be out of control.
Yeah.
It's going to be out of control.
Yep.
And I don't know how I feel about this game because I don't know how I feel about Jaden Mayava.
I'm gonna have to go USC, but I'm not. Yeah. It's not a pick that I'm like certain of. I'm not feeling. I feel like it's more coin flippy because of the same reason, like you just said, and also just Lincoln Riley. Like I just don't trust Lincoln Riley, so I could see him squandering this game away and just doing some horrible play calling, and then obviously Mayava throwing a couple picks. But I'm gonna have to go as far as just talent advantage right now. With USC, but I'm not.
They're further along in their build.
Yeah, I just don't feel good about it.
No, I don't feel great about it either. Yeah. But I'm with you. I'm going with USC.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they should have a talent advantage at this juncture. Mm-hmm. And if this were in East Lansing, I wouldn't know who to pick.
Yeah, same.
But the fact that it's in LA in September, it's going to be hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be probably, easy to throw the ball. That's what Lincoln Riley likes.
Yep.
And I think that's going to work to his advantage. And also USC needs this more than Sparty does.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Like if Lincoln Riley loses this game,
he's on the hot
seat
immediately. Dude.
Can you imagine the media firestorm?
Yep.
So USC better win this game.
Yep.
Or else Lincoln Riley's in a lot of trouble. So yeah, man, I think partially because of talent, partially because Lincoln Riley's been there longer, so he's had longer to fill out his program the way he wants it. I think it's close. I don't think it's a blowout at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so we got them at 3-1, and then they get 2 weeks, John. 2 weeks to get ready to go to Lincoln to play the Cornhuskers. Ooh. Dude, does that say upset alert, or am I crazy? Because, Nebraska's probably the better team overall, probably at this point in year
maybe
3
the more
versus year
solid
2.
team. Yeah.
The more seasoned team.
Yes,
the more
yes.
seasoned team.
Yeah.
They're the more experienced team.
Yeah.
But I think Aiden Childs could duel it out with, I'm not the biggest Childs guy, but I think he could potentially on the right day duel it out against Dylan Raiola. And here's the thing. Here's my problem with Nebraska every time I'm trying to pick a Nebraska versus another team game. I like their passing game. I like parts of their defense. I'm not convinced that they are a top third of the Big Ten run stuffing defense anymore without Nash Hutmacher and Ty Robinson. Maybe they are. Maybe they fill in and they've recruited well and it's fine. Maybe. Yeah. So I could see that. But I don't think the running backs are legit.
Yeah.
Same. I don't think the running backs are legit. So I don't know, man. I think I've got the upset here.
Okay.
I think Jonathan Smith needs a signature win. He's got 2 weeks to get ready for it. Let's see who Nebraska has the week before. Oh, Nebraska never. Okay, now never mind. They also have a bye.
Yeah.
They also have. I didn't think they did. I must have read that wrong when I was going through it, preparing for this episode. They also have a bye. Oh man, that changes everything. Oh, dude, now I've got Holgo coming up with some just spending days on end in the lab and coming out with weird ways to expose your DBs. And I don't know, man. You want to talk coin flippy. They both got 2 weeks to get ready. Who does a better job? Who does a better job coaching? Who does the better job coaching? This is interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting when teams have an extended period of time to get ready, because then you get to see which coaches are the cleverest.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, yes, it's a little coin flippy. As high as I am on Aiden Childs, until I see it come together, I have to pick Nebraska.
Yeah. I do too.
So, but if he looks great against USC and he looks like he's, really coming, moving away from a lot of those picks and those turnovers and coming into his own, well, then that's a whole nother story. But at this point in time, I'm going to go Nebraska. Just for the fact that they are more seasoned and, Rules had a little bit more time to put things together there.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's at home.
All right. Then you host UCLA. I think that's a game you got to win. You got to have it circled before the season. I think you got to win it. And I don't believe in you outside of the quarterback, who's a question mark, not in talent, but in attitude. I don't believe in UCLA's playmakers. I don't think they're good at the skill positions. I don't think they're going to be an explosive offense. I think they're going to have to trudge up and down the field, and Nico's going to have to drag them to every touchdown they score.
I feel the same way, and I just don't trust in Nico at this point in time. I don't.
I think the defense will be pretty good.
Yeah. I just don't believe in Nico, man. I don't think he's got the leadership capabilities, and
and it's a new offensive system, and Tino Sanseri hasn't had the chance to get his guys in there yet. I don't know, man.
There's too many variables.
Yeah. I got Michigan State.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so that's 4-2. That's not bad.
No,
you get to 4-2, and things are happening, and then you got to go to Bloomington to play the Hoosiers. I really like Indiana, man. You can make an argument. I'm not saying for sure they have, but you can make an argument that they're as good or better at every position on offense compared to last year?
I think they're better because I think they're going to have a better offensive line than they did last year.
And they have a quarterback who can run this time.
Yes. Yep.
And that opens things up too. You know?
Yep.
Like Indiana did not have that as an option for the quarterback to run last year. That could be a new wrinkle Signetti puts in to keep teams off, you know, off kilter a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to do it a lot, but just having the threat of it makes teams defend you differently.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it easier for your running backs to find holes, you know, because you have one guy, you have one fewer tackler to evade because the one guy is on the quarterback, you know?
Yep. I'm with you.
So, and Elijah Surratt is probably like, Nick Marsh could be one of the best receivers in the Big Ten. Elijah Surratt is one of the best receivers in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I like Roman Hemby at running back. Man, I just think the Hoosiers are going to score a lot of points. And then on defense, if you ask me who's got the pass rush, they got Mikhail Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
Sparty doesn't.
Yeah. As of right now, I just don't see. I think it's a little bit lopsided as far as talent advantage in favor of.
Which is a crazy
Indiana.
thing to say.
Yeah, I know. It's weird with Sparty not having that over Indiana right now.
Dude.
But that's the reality. That is true.
It's the new world.
Yep. So I picked Indiana.
Yeah, I got Indiana as well. So that's 4-3. And then the schedule gets really hard. I mean, I guess starting with Indiana, the schedule gets really hard.
Yeah.
Then you got to host Michigan for the rivalry game. Man, Michigan is so talented at this point. They reload. They don't really rebuild. And now you know how scared I am of their new quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that they don't have great wide receivers will give Michigan State a chance to make this a game. But ultimately, who do you trust up front, Michigan or Michigan State?
Michigan, man. Until I see it, it's got to be Michigan. I agree. I think just purely on the line of scrimmage, like that alone, I have to pick Michigan. Even taking out the skill position players, that's just the way it is.
So that puts you at 4-4, and then you're coming off a tough rivalry game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming off a tough rivalry game, and you gotta go to Minneapolis to play the Gophers. And man, the odds are you're going to get a pissed off Golden Gopher team that feels like they just got screwed out of a win in Kinnick.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get an angry, focused version of the Gophers. You know? I think this can be a game for a while, 2-3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sparty can stop a running attack as prolific as Minnesota's for the whole game. I think eventually Darius Taylor and AJ Turner are going to get loose, either running the ball or catching it or both.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be a good game, man. I think it goes back and forth. I'm really scared about this game for Minnesota, though.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because the Gophers have a bye, and then they play Rutgers, Ohio State, Purdue, Nebraska, Iowa, and then Michigan State. So it is a ton of games in a row.
Yeah.
And PJ loses one game he absolutely shouldn't every year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, on paper, I think the Gophers are the better team. On paper, I think the Gophers should win this game.
Yeah.
But where it comes in the season, I think this is a game PJ Fleck drops.
I'm glad you said it because I was going to say it. I think for the same reasons. I think that Minnesota loses this game, unfortunately. Yes, on paper, if by some miracle we are healthy enough at this stage of the game in this season, I think Minnesota should come away with it, but I don't expect that. I think that Minnesota is going to be banged up. And I think Sparty is just going to be the healthier team. And, and Aiden Childs, I think at that point too, will maybe have settled down and really kind of found his stride at that point in time. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Because you know what my fear is? My fear is that Michigan is up so big the week before at halftime that Sparty quits and packs it in and says, let's just focus on next week.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they get their guys out and they have one half less of football wear and tear on them. And they just play pretty conservatively and take the loss on the chin and then come into Dinkytown really focused. So
yep.
I'll tease it. I've got Minnesota going 8-4 this year, and this is the loss they shouldn't have had.
Agreed.
That's where I've got Minnesota at.
Yeah.
So if I have to watch a November home loss to Michigan State, it'll be, we better not, I don't know. I'm picking us to lose that game, but we better not lose that game. I will be so upset.
Yeah.
But Sparty, we're giving you the win. We're giving you the win. So that puts you at what, 5-4?
Yep.
Then you get 2 weeks, and man, it's too bad that the 2 weeks were not to host Penn State.
Yeah.
Because if they were to play anybody else, I at this time of year, almost anybody else at this time of year, I'd be like 2 weeks off, give Michigan State a real chance. But I think Penn State's winning the national title. I think they're a machine on both sides of the ball and special teams. I think that they are going to be coming off, they're coming off a long stretch of games. So that's the good news. They have at UCLA, Northwestern, Iowa, at Ohio State, Indiana, at Michigan State. So that's a decently long stretch of games. Oh, no. After Iowa, they got to bye. No, I'm wrong. Okay. No, man. This is going to be Penn State going away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not even going to debate this. I don't think there's much to say. Yeah, Penn State will take it.
No, Penn State's going to win. They're going to win big. They're going to put up style points. They're going to want them by that point of the year.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So 5-5. Then you got to go to Kinnick. And here's the thing, man. You know what the biggest thing hurting Michigan State against Iowa this year is? That they beat Iowa last year.
Mm-hmm.
They will have the Hawkeyes full attention. I guarantee you they're game planning them right now.
Yeah.
I don't think you go into Kinnick, and you're going to go into Kinnick. You're not going to be able to run the ball. Iowa's going to be able to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that game's – I don't even think it's going to be that close. I think Iowa's going to run Michigan State this year.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be – again, it's going to just frustrate the Spartans the entire time, and Joe Rossi's familiar with this. And so I think that it's going to be that kind of game. I agree. I think they're just going to run the ball, beat them into submission. By the end of the third quarter, Sparty will have nothing left.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think that's what happens. But – so 5-6 on the edge of going 5-7. Everyone's really clenched tight in East Lansing, but you know what the good news is? Here come the Terps.
Yeah.
Maryland comes to town, and man, I don't think Maryland's even going to have a head coach by this point. Maryland's players might already be in the transfer portal.
Yep.
I don't think you're going to get this one. Sparty can name their score, I think, getting
Agreed.
Maryland this late in the season. So
Agreed.
6-6, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
6-6 if they beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
This is a tough schedule.
It is. And and it could. I mean, we could see Minnesota winning that game. And I'm, saying that not, as a Gopher fan, I genuinely think that that's a possibility, as unbiased as I can be. But yeah, I mean,
Minnesota's the better team. So I'm picking Sparty to win because of where it comes in the schedule.
Yes.
But if Minnesota's healthy at all,
yeah,
then I don't think Sparty wins. And then we're talking about a 5-7 season.
Yep. Same.
Unless, I'm looking at the other, because they're not going to beat Penn State. I don't think they're winning at Iowa. I don't think they're beating Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to beat Indiana or Minnesota.
Yeah.
Or Nebraska.
The only way Yeah, like the only way they beat Michigan, I think, is if like Bryce Underwood is having a true freshman game. You know, that's it.
But he's such a running threat. I don't think they're going to even ask him to throw it that much this year. I think it's going to be I think Michigan's going to be like a service academy team, but with like the best athletes with the better athletes on the field in most of the games they play.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think it could be an okay season. I think 7 wins is on the table, but I'm thinking more 6-6 for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting to 7-5.
Yeah.
I'm picking them to go 6-6, but I'm not confident. I'm not confident at all because I have to pick them to because if they have to beat Minnesota or Indiana or Nebraska, I think all those teams are better than Michigan State at this point, talent-wise.
Yeah.
So they have to beat a team that's better than them. But Jonathan Smith's a great coach.
Yeah.
So I think they do. They get to 6-6. I think you can call the season a success if you win the bowl game.
Yes. I agree with that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Should we move on and talk Washington?
Yeah. We got time to get through this. We'll have to move a little faster.
Yeah. We can a little bit, but we got plenty of time and we still got, 44 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's plenty of time to talk about the Huskies.
Sure.
Probably my ire at Joe Rossi made me go on Sparty longer than I should have. But, Sparties, they've been in the league longer, Washington, so I hate them more. Sorry.
It's true.
I just hate them more than you.
But as a new Big Ten fellow team, we just want to let you know that we also hate you because that's what we do in the Big Ten.
We all hate each other. We're not the SEC.
No.
We don't hold hands and sing Kumbaya and chant our conference name.
That's right.
We hate each other because we're competitors.
That's
right. What's appropriate. Yep. And then after the game, we can be friends. Maybe if we won.
Exactly. That's how it's done in this conference. So
yes.
There you go.
All right. Washington Huskies, Jed Fish, man. It's been a long and winding road for Jed Fish to get where he is. After attending Florida with the intent of learning under Steve Spurrier, Fish succeeded and even became a graduate assistant under Spurrier at Florida. In 2002, Fish was hired by the Houston Texans to be a defensive quality control coach. He switched back to offense 2 years later with the Baltimore Ravens under head coach Brian Billick. Fish was assistant QB's coach and assistant wide receivers coach. He got his big break as a position coach under the legendary Mike Shanahan when he hired him to be wide receivers coach for the Denver Broncos. He had a disastrous tenure as Minnesota Golden Gophers offensive coordinator. I have to say every time we bring this up that he ruined a second-team all-conference QB in Adam Weber. But then he became QB coach for Pete Carroll with the Seahawks. Spent a minute at the U of Miami, OC for Jacksonville Jaguars under Gus Bradley. Dude, he worked for the Rams when they won a Super Bowl in a lesser role, was QB's coach for Bill Belichick right after Tom Brady left. This guy's career is wild. He's had a lot of near misses and also makes. He had brief stints at Michigan and UCLA. He became a college head coach at Arizona, getting hired for the 2021 season. And then Fish proved himself. He went 1-11, then 5-7, and in his third year, he went 10-3 in Tucson.
Yeah.
So before he took the Washington job where he went 6-7 last year, the longest Fish has ever held the same job is 4 years, and that was over 20 years ago. So he's been quite a job hopper, which is part of the deal when you're in the NFL. I get that. But it's still wild how many places he's coached. And it's even crazier he got the Arizona coaching gig at all with such a nomadic resume. But he killed it there. He killed it. And if you look at the offense that Fish is ready to unleash on the Big Ten, it's really good.
Yeah.
He's got a scary dual threat QB and new-ish starter Damon Williams, star running back Jonah Coleman, and incredible wide receiver Denzel Boston. That's one of the best QB wide receiver RB trios in the Big Ten. I'd put it right after Penn State and Ohio State. So I have a lot of respect for the Husky skill position players. Now, can they play good D or block up front? We're going to find out. And I think that's what's going to decide the season for Washington.
Yeah, I think, with Fish's system, the being really a heavy RPO, heavy structure, I think that's going to really work in their favor, especially with Damon Williams. I mean, because you can send the running back with Jonah Coleman or you can send Damon Williams, and either way, you're going to be all right. So I think what to me, what I'm questioning is amazing, and absolutely elite wide receiver that Denzel Boston is. There's not a ton of experience in the wide receiver room.
No,
there's
not outside of him.
They lost a ton of talent last year with Polk and Idunze. And so now they've got true freshmen. They've got true freshman Raiden Vines Bright. They've got redshirt freshman Jace Burton and another freshman, true freshman Deji Jose. And there's just not so like it's really gonna, in my opinion, it's gonna rest purely upon Denzel Boston, who, if you have
they have Amari Evans.
And they have the Penn State
who comes over from Penn State.
Yes.
So he's the speed.
Yeah.
And then they have Kevin Green.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Penn State transfer could be good, but also at the same time, we've seen Penn State not really develop a lot of solid wide receivers either. So I feel like it's more of a depth piece, which is good, and obviously he has to have some level of talent if he started out at Penn State. So
does he? Because the Penn State wide receivers were bad last year.
But like, do you even get into Penn State unless you're like, there's something there? Maybe they're just not good at developing wide receivers.
They did, though. They were developed a bunch of good wide receivers under James Franklin. No, man, I don't buy that at all. I think they just had a bunch of recruiting misses.
Yeah.
And I would be scared about Amari Evans playing a big role, because to me, the only time he really got open last year was on broken coverages.
Yeah.
He's a good athlete. I don't know if he's a good route runner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to go with you on that. I think, a lot's going to rest on Denzel Boston, man. It really is. Like, it's all him.
But
which
if
is
the
great.
running game is as good as we think it is,
yes,
then they might be able to run the ball like 60% of the time. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if they do that, then they have Denzel Boston, and what else do they really need? Yeah, you need somebody else to step up and be a pass catcher. But
if they can get one guy, absolutely, I think it's possible. I mean, and I think their tight end, and actually sophomore Decker DeGraff kind of had like a really good coming out last year. So I think there's some possibilities, at least if you can get their tight end involved in the game, and he's like halfway decent, I think that'll help out a lot. And again, like you said, you're right. Like with the legs of DeMond Williams and Jonah Coleman, I think there's so much you can do on the ground that it's really going to help to make up for anybody else who might be not up to snuff, I guess, in the wide receiver room. So
Decker DeGraff is a pick for me to break out.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he could have a really nice, because I just don't think their other receivers are that good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to have to throw it to him a decent amount.
Well,
I think he's going to have a really nice year.
I mean, he made an immediate impact last year. He had 15 catches, 233 yards, 3 TDs, 15 and a half yards per catch on average. I mean, I think this guy could be real solid.
He could be real sneaky, because I also don't think teams are going to be game planning to take him away to start the year.
Yep.
So he could catch people, a little blindsided at least the first few weeks.
Mm-hmm. One thing though, we're going to have to see a lot better protection. It was the University of Washington allowed a Big Ten worst 39 sacks.
39? Dude, that is 3 a game. That's 3 a game. Yikes.
It was bad, dude. Will Rogers, I know he got benched, but I'm not even mad at him.
It's not his fault. He didn't have a chance out there.
No, he
got benched because DeMond Williams could run away from the other team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's literally.
I don't think, if I'm Will Rogers, I'm not even mad I lost that competition. I'm like, well, my offensive line couldn't do it for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I thought when Will Rogers, you saw him, he had a lot of potential. I mean, the guy could throw the ball. He looked pretty good, but without any protection, he was just absolutely screwed. So yeah. So, they brought in some transfers. They have Carver Willis, who's a redshirt senior transfer, and he's at left tackle. And
from K-State. He's really good.
Yeah, he's really good. Then they have another transfer at right guard, Garen Hatchett, who's also a redshirt senior. So you're bringing in some real experience, some solid, I feel like some good pieces. And then you've got let's see here. You got a left guard.
Well, and then there's his brother, Landon Hatchett. So are they both going to play?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Where is he?
I mean, I assume they're brothers. They're on the same team. They both play offensive line, and they have the same last name.
You would think so. Yeah, Landon Hatchett, but he's been at Washington, so I don't know. Landon Hatchett, he's a junior, so maybe he's like his younger brother. He's playing center. And then you have Paki Finau, who's a redshirt freshman at left guard, and then Drew as a party.
Yeah, nice.
As a party. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, fun.
Who's a redshirt junior. And so I think there's some pieces there. There's some experience. Underneath that, as far as depth, it's pretty young. You've got a lot of true freshmen. You've got some redshirt.
Yeah, they better
sophomores.
stay healthy.
Yeah.
They better stay healthy because, there's no experience depth there at all.
Yeah, so I think with offensive line, I think, as far as starters, they're pretty solid. But yeah, as far as depth.
Are they pretty solid? I'm not ready to say they're pretty solid. They were the worst team in the Big Ten last year. I'm ready to say they're like on the low side of average as compared to being terrible, which they were.
I guess that's what I mean. Yeah, when I'm saying solid, I think, I'm saying like at best average. Yes.
Like, I don't think this is, I still think this is one of the weaknesses of this team.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
If Washington had a better offensive line, I'd be talking about them for the college football playoff.
Yeah. And I think there's obviously a lot of people picking them as kind of a dark horse, which I can understand as far as skill position and if they can stay healthy. Like, I get that. But it depends on that offensive line. We talked about the same thing last year with Washington. We said if they aren't up to snuff on the line of scrimmage, then it's just not going to matter how good.
And not to toot our own horn, but we predicted that they weren't ready yet last week here on the offensive line or on the line of scrimmage, and they were not.
Yep.
That's where the deficiency was, because the Big Ten is just a different amount of size and talent that you see up there every week.
So overall with this offense, I feel really good about it because the skill position, their top skill position players are so good.
They're so good
that they're going to make this team look amazing, even if the offensive line has some leaks here and there.
Dude, how much fun would it be to play Damon Williams in the video game? Have you played as him yet?
Not yet, but
you should. I bet it'll be fun.
I saw his stats, and honestly, again, this is what I don't understand about that video game at this point in time. Like, they really underrate some players that you're like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't like, and they wait until like the season starts, and sometimes they give them like a little bit of a boost, but then they give players that are, already being overhyped because they pay attention to ESPN as well, and all the same national narratives.
Well, yeah, it showed when they put LSU in their top 10 defenses. Get out of here.
It's a joke.
They've been terrible.
So, like, that's one of my big issues. Like, I love the video game. I think it's a great product, and I'm so happy it's back. But at the same time,
it's got a lot of bias cooked in.
Incredible amount of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for sure,
that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the offense is gonna be great too, man. I think it's gonna be really, really good. I think, like I said, I think the offensive line will ultimately come up short in some of the bigger games.
Mm-hmm.
But this team is gonna score a lot of points.
Yep. 100%.
And they're gonna keep up. They're gonna be defensive coordinators taking antacids Washington week when they're gonna click on Damon Williams and Jonah Coleman and just be like, why do I have to deal with two guys who are so fast and strong?
Yep.
It's gonna be that kind of thing. And Jonah Coleman's so underrated, dude.
Oh my god.
I mean, I think he's, second or third best running back in the Big Ten, and no one talks about him like that.
I don't. Like,
where's the hype for Jonah Coleman? Where's the Jonah Coleman hype?
Well, it's the same thing with Darius Taylor. Yeah,
we're starting the Jonah Coleman hype trade.
I think him and Darius don't get enough hype. I think they both need more. Now, Darius has gotten some recognition, but I feel like it's on par with Jonah Coleman, though. Like, when they do have to talk about them, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's really, really good," but then then it just disappears from the conversation. Yeah. So because they play at not helmet schools, like, I mean, I know Washington has like been really, really, really good.
They've been successful in helmet school.
I don't think they're a helmet school though.
No.
Still, yeah.
No.
So there you go. Cool.
No, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Should any other thoughts before I switch to defense?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. All right. D line. So So first of all, we got to talk about Ryan Walters briefly. Walters was a high school QB, switched to safety at Colorado, where he eventually became a starter. Like Fish, Walters has been all over since at Colorado, Arizona, Oklahoma, North Texas, Memphis, Mizzou, Illinois, Purdue, and now Washington. It's been a fall from grace for DC Ryan Walters. He was considered one of the best defensive coordinators in the country when he was in Champaign under Brett Bielema. His defenses were fantastic. He featured a ton of press man coverage, and that was executed perfectly by his talented NFL draft pick caliber DBs. Walters, based largely on the success of his defenses and his secondary in particular, and that press man coverage that they played, he was given the head coaching job at Purdue. It was a total disaster. Walters attempted to run his patented press man coverage, but he didn't have nearly the athletes needed to execute the scheme. His Purdue teams were the worst in the Big Ten, and honestly, one of the worst power conference teams we've ever seen, going 4-8 and then 1-11 in 2 years in West Lafayette. And honestly, those 11 losses, only a couple of them were even close. I mean, they were beatings, you know? Can Walters succeed in Seattle? Here's what I would ask. Does Washington have cornerbacks and safeties talented enough to play press man coverage a lot of the time? If they do, this will be an overwhelming success. However, if they don't, then Walters will have to prove he's more than a one-trick pony as a defensive coordinator. A lot of people can win with superior talent. Walters has got to prove he can succeed with average talent. Can he do that? We're going to find out this fall. So on the D-line, the Washington defensive scheme will essentially be a 4-2-5, although instead of a nickelback, that player is named the Husky position. To me, that shows they have big expectations for the guys who will inhabit that role. Up front, Western Michigan transfer and Anterior Thompson will start at 1D tackle, while Utah transfer Simode Peppa will start at the other. They're both seniors, which is a theme with this defense. There are a lot of upperclassmen, which could bode well for how quickly they adjust to their new roles. Arizona transfer edge Taida E. Uagalele should provide a consistent pass rush and the ability to stop the run too. At the other edge, you've got another senior in Zach Durfee, Isaiah Ward, Logan Sagapalu, Illinius Davis, and Russell Davis will compete for time. At linebacker, Alexander and Tariq Buddha Al-Ukta transferred in from UCF and Wazoo respectively, and they should bring a physical presence to the defense. Buddha Al-Ukta for 7 turnovers last year, 3 picks, 4 fumble recoveries. So the man has a nose for the football. You cannot argue with that. Devin Bryant and senior Jacob Manu will back them up. So I think they'll be okay there. I think at inside linebacker, they'll be pretty good, actually. I think those guys are pretty decent players. And then in the secondary, John Jed Fish got perhaps the best cornerback in the transfer portal in 6'4" behemoth senior Takario Davis. He's a smothering presence in man coverage, and you can expect, dude, I'm getting chills just talking about him. You can expect Ryan Walters to line him up at the line of scrimmage, jam up the other team's best wide receiver on the regular. They need him to be a force that can neutralize the other team's best athlete. The other cornerback, all-name team member senior, Ephesians Prysock, is also a good player. Safety is a little less certain, with Mikel Easton and CJ Christian slotted to start. The Husky position will either be Rashawn Clark or Dyson McCutcheon. Clark has more upside, but he's a freshman. Is he ready for so much responsibility at such an important position? The backup DBs will mostly be young guys like Dylan Robeson, Leroy Bryant, Alex McLaughlin, Raheem Wright, trying to carve out roles. I think it's going to be really important for Washington to stay healthy in the secondary. I don't think a lot of these young backups are necessarily ready for prime time.
Yeah.
So Washington was bad on defense last year, man, ranking just 61st in points allowed. Woof. They also got worse as the season wore on, giving up over 34 points per game in their last 3 games. That is not a recipe for success. You want to get better when the season goes on, not worse. Washington needs to at least be in the top 40-ish on D to go with that prolific offense if they're going to make any real noise this year, past just being a fun team that gets into lots of shootouts with varying results. If you want a positive measure, Washington was only 40th in yards per play. So if they could keep the yards per play the same and be a lot more effective in the red zone, I could talk this into being an improved defense, especially if Takario Davis is the kind of absolute shutdown corner that he looked like he was in the past at Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a really interesting defense, but the stars need to produce because I don't think the depth is there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think at this point in time, I think you're going to see some good stuff from time to time. I think Ryan Walters is a really good defensive coordinator. We saw what he did at Illinois, so I think that you're going to see some good schemes going around, but like inconsistent play. It's just that's kind of what I'm expecting at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be really good at corner, and if you're good at corner, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're good at corner, you're good at inside linebacker, but there are so many questions up front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have a real pass rush or not.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. Ua Agalele needs to be that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to have again, there's not a lot of depth. Like the guys that hit, the guys they brought in, they need to hit on them.
Yep.
So it's going to be really interesting, man, because I think this defense could go a lot of ways, and it could really vary game to game and even drive to drive, like what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm with you. Totally.
All right. Should we play the schedule game?
Let's do it.
Let's see. Oh, did I not? Wait, no, actually, John. I forgot to talk about the specialists.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Hit on the kickers and punters real quick.
Yeah. So it's bad here, man. Senior place kicker Grady Gross converted fewer than 70% of his kicks last year. That's not good. Worse, they're scrambling at punter, and they could trot out a bad option. And relatively untested freshman Jordan Washington could be the kick returner and the punt returner. I feel terrible about these Washington special teams. They don't even know if they have a punter, man. Like, they don't even know if they have a guy who can really do the job. I think Jed Fish has done a lot of things right. I think don't be surprised if Washington falls short of expectations this year. Don't be surprised if it comes down to special teams failures and lapses in the defensive secondary.
That's what I expect as well, and I don't know if I'd be putting Denzel Boston as returning anything at this point. You need him protected at all costs, so I don't know if I'd want him returning any kicks.
Yeah, dude, for real though. Like, you want to be, I'm with you on that, and I just yeah. I he's too important, right?
Yep.
I mean, I know you need to put your best athletes on special teams sometimes, a lot of the time, and you know what, man? Actually, I'd change my mind, because I just think you absolutely have to have your best athletes on the field when they can be on the field. Like, I've come around on that over the years.
Okay.
Like, I used to be really worried guys are going to get hurt, but you know what? Guys get hurt. Like,
sure.
You can't stop it. And like, just because, like, yes, here's where I think, you know what my exception is? Running back.
Yeah.
I think at running back, there's a cumulative amount of hits. And so running backs, I want to limit how many reps they take, how many hits they take.
Okay.
But at other positions, I think a lot of it's kind of random.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, should we play the schedule game?
Let's play the schedule game.
All right.
All right. So this schedule is really interesting because they open up against Colorado State.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado State's a good program.
Yeah.
I mean, remember they memorably took, didn't they take, was it last year or the year before they took Colorado to like several overtimes?
I think it was last year. Yeah.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Because like they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an easy starter again, a starting game at all.
Yeah. Agreed.
So that's that's like, I don't know, man. Colorado State. Hold on. They were 8-5 last year. 6-1 in conference. So they're a good program.
Oh yeah.
They're is it another Norvell? I forget who the coach is.
It's someone who's really good. I know he's
he's a good coach.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
He's a good program builder. They play hard.
Yep.
We saw against Colorado, they were willing to take cheap shots.
Yeah.
Which they apologize for later. But the point is, they're a physical team.
Yep.
So you're playing a really physical team. I think this is kind of a good test for Washington in game 1.
I agree.
Because I think you're going to see, are you better up front or not? Because if you're better up front, you should push Colorado State around a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're not better up front and Colorado State gets some sacks, you don't want this to be a game where Colorado State gets 3 or 4 sacks.
No.
Because then you're thinking, oh God, here we go again.
I mean, I have Washington winning this just be pure firepower, but
oh yeah.
I think there could be some scary moments built in there. Yeah.
Yes, to be clear, I think Washington wins going away.
Yeah.
I just think it's a challenging opener.
Agreed.
And I think it's interesting that they have it. All right, then they get UC Davis. I mean, with
Whatever.
all due respect, I'm not even sure what their mascot is. Although I played flag football with a guy who played at UC Davis. He was a pretty good player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Washington wins that one big. And then they've got an early bye before they have to go play their rival, Wazoo. The Cougars, man, this used to be a really important game. And this used to be a big rivalry game. And the Apple Cup was a thing where you didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah.
But now the Cougars are a group of 5 team. And Washington has a loaded skill position players. And sadly, man, this one's going to be over at half.
I agree. I think it's too bad. I wish I wish the Cougars and that the Beavers in Oregon State as well were still playing.
I wish the Pac-12 still existed, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even as a Big Ten fan, I wish it still existed.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it still exists, but not really.
But I'm going to miss,
not like it was.
I'm going to miss those rivalries being relevant. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So that sucks, but it is a win. So that gets you to 3-0. And then you gotta host the Buckeyes. This could be a really interesting game because Washington can score points, man. And Julian Sayin is also a pretty brand new.
Yeah.
And he will have played Texas by this time, so we'll kind of see where he's at. I think that this will be close for a while. I think the skill position players are actually Ohio State has better skill than anybody.
Yeah.
But Washington is in that next tier of really great skill, top level, like quarterback, wide receiver, running back.
Yes.
The top one skill players. I think Washington scores some points. I think this is close for a half. And go on.
No, I mean, I think they do, but I'm not going to forget that Caleb Downs is in that backfield for Ohio State.
And that's why I said for a half.
Yeah.
And that they have Jeremiah Smith at receiver.
Yes.
Because I think Washington will score some points, and eventually Ryan Day is going to question the manhood of his offensive and defensive lines. And they're going to come out and they're going to push Washington around.
Yeah.
And I think as much as I like Washington, I do think that Ohio State does win that one convincingly.
Agreed.
All right. So that puts them at 3-1. But then, I really feel bad for Terps fans when we always say this. But then you get to go to Maryland.
Yep.
Then you get to go to Maryland. And man, I think this one might be over before it even starts because I just can't imagine Maryland's going to be able to Loxley can scheme up some points, but he can't go toe to toe with this juggernaut right now.
I think Maryland is last year's Purdue this year.
Yeah, dude.
I think, yeah.
So that's 3-1 or 4-1. Then you host Rutgers, and that is a really interesting game. Rutgers is going to play defense. They're going to run the ball. They're going to make it hard. I think Washington's too explosive.
I agree.
I think they're too explosive.
I agree. I think with the style of play that Rutgers has right now, I think, and they'll be sound, like you said, but they don't have Damon Williams. They don't have Jonah Coleman. I mean, as good as I'm sure Rutgers' running game is going to be, it's nothing compared, in my opinion, to what Washington has. And I just don't see the weapons on offense for Rutgers at this point in time. Not to say somebody couldn't emerge, but I don't see them being able to score enough points.
Right. So that's 5-1, man.
Yep.
That's pretty good. But then you gotta go to Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michigan is so good on the line of scrimmage and Washington is not. And I just think I know Washington. Did they beat them last year?
I
think they did.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think
they
they beat
did.
Michigan.
Yep.
And but I also think that Michigan's not going to be one-dimensional like they were last year.
Agreed.
I think they're going to have some semblance of a passing game.
Yeah.
And I also think their running game is going to be a lot better because they have a quarterback who can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not Alex Orji. It's a quarterback who can actually throw it too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think Michigan I think it's gonna be physical. I think Washington might score a little bit early, but once Michigan figures out what their game is, they're gonna put the clamps down. I think it's a close game, but I think Michigan guts it out.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna be. I don't think there's ever going to be a question that Michigan is going to win this game, though. I think even though the score might be kind of close, I feel like you're always going to be like, well, I mean, it's not
going to feel like Michigan's in control.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you. 5-2, and then you host Illinois. That's a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any idea who's going to win that game. If it were in Champaign, I would pick the Illini for sure. But in Seattle, on the West Coast, I don't know, man. I don't know. And here's the thing. I don't love Illinois' receivers. I think they'll come up with at least one, or 1.5. But then you've got Takario Davis and Ephesians Prysock.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's going to come down to who can run the ball better. I can't believe I'm saying this, but am I talking myself into a Washington upset here?
I don't know. What did we pick for when we did the Illinois?
We picked Illinois 10-2.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Luke Altmaier can run the ball too.
Mm-hmm.
And Illinois can run the ball too.
Yep.
And I like Illinois on the line of scrimmage better than Washington.
That's why my pick is Illinois. Strictly, I mean, there's other reasons, but that's the main reason is that.
Me too, man. Me too. But I think it's a game, man. I think it's a really good game.
I think so too.
I think this is going to be one of those things where you see in the fourth quarter that Luke Altmaier's a senior and that Damon Williams is a young player.
Yep.
You know?
Agreed.
But I think it'll be close. Then you get a bye. And then, so you got 2 weeks to get ready to go to Camp Randall. And man, what kind of shape is Wisconsin going to be after the beating they take in the middle of the season?
Yeah. I think this is going to be ugly for the Badgers, dude.
I kind of do too.
I don't trust that defense at all. I think that Washington's offense is going to be able to score a ton of points.
Yeah, I do too. And I just think, I don't know if the Badgers passing game is good enough, and that's going to allow Washington to really attack the running backs.
Yep.
And try to leverage the game at the line of scrimmage because they're not scared about getting beat deep.
Yep.
Vinny Anthony can do some stuff, but again, Washington has really good corners.
Yep.
And I think the fact they have really good corners makes it a bad matchup for Wisconsin.
I agree. Yep.
So they beat Wisconsin. That gets to 6 wins. Then they host Purdue. Do we have to talk a lot about that?
They're at 7 wins. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no offense, Purdue.
Yeah.
But I just don't think in year one of a rebuild, you're going to be ready for that kind of firepower.
Yep. Agreed.
Then they got to go to UCLA. Again, man, firepower.
Yep.
And I don't think UCLA is a great line of scrimmage team either. So I don't think they have an advantage there like other teams do.
Yeah. I could see it being kind of kind of difficult, you know, because UCLA's defense. There's, I guess, a potential for an upset here late in the season, but I have to pick Washington right now. That's where I would go. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I'm with you. I've got Washington there too. So that's 8 wins, man.
Yeah.
And then they host Oregon and
then
they're gonna it could be good for a while, right?
Yeah.
But Oregon's, I just think with those defensive ends, Damon Williams is going to be running for his life.
I agree. I see that as a
where
loss.
I'm at with that. Yeah, I think they're too good. Oregon's too good rushing the passer for Washington, because they're going to attack the running game and try to rush the passer while attacking the running game, and they're gonna bracket Denzel Boston and dare somebody else to beat them.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't think that they're going to win that game. I think 8-4, but 8-4 is great. I mean,
8-4 is a really good year,
a really good season, absolutely. And I think they're going to continue. It's a really good way. I think they're going to build on even more next year. And because this is the way Washington goes. Yeah, Washington gets like real high highs, and then they kind of sink up. Right,
and they bottom out.
And then they slowly build back up again. So, like, year 3, 4, like, they'll be up there in contention again for the Big Ten Conference. And I think that's kind of the way it's going to go. And then it'll start the cycle over again. So, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
It really hurt me to pick Michigan State to beat us. That hurts me inside to say that out loud. And I honestly, but I just 6 games in a row, man. That's hard.
It's a lot. Really is.
Here's the hope. The hope is that PJ learned from last year and that he limits Darius Taylor's touches to like 25 a game. If he limits Darius to like 25 touches a game, then maybe he's still healthy because AJ Turner's getting carries. Cam Davis is getting carries. But yeah, man, as of now, I see Minnesota dropping that one.
Yeah, same. Yeah. All right. Well, another good pod. Broke down a couple more teams and moving on.
Yeah.
And eventually we'll get to the end of this. 18 teams, which is insane that we have to do that. But yeah, that's where we are.
We get to do that, John.
We get to do that. That's true.
Yeah, I think we're at like 12.
Okay.
After today, I want to say. I have to double check that, but I think we're at like 12 after
somewhere
today.
Around there. I think you're right.
So yeah, you and I need to get offline and figure out how we're coordinating with these guests we may or may not have.
Yeah. We're gonna keep trying to get.
We're gonna preview all the teams, guests or no.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. Well, you want to find We Live for Saturday? You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Podcast Addict. You can find us on Twitter at We Live for B1GSat, and you can find Mike at Alibaba26 and me, John, at Norwegian Gopher. And you can email us, We Live for Saturday, b1g@gmail.com. As always, please follow, like, tweet, retweet, all that good stuff, especially here on YouTube. We really would appreciate that.
Yes, the more subscribers. We've gotten a lot of new subscribers lately in the preview series, so please continue subscribing. And we cover all 18 Big Ten teams, not just the helmet schools. So we cover everybody in depth, and that's why it's worth watching We Live for Saturday or listening to We Live for Saturday. Yes. So thank you all so much for rocking with us for another episode. We love doing a double preview. Always fun to do. Knock out a couple more teams. I feel like both Michigan State and Washington are going to have really exciting years.
Yes.
So I'm getting excited to track those. And John, should we get out of here?
Let's get out of here. Yep.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. We will see you in the next one, probably later this week.